If this game looks good to you, then the rest of the list is gonna be a blast. Welcome to the Steam Fall Next Fest. Next Fest is where a bunch of games throw out their demos and hope that it lands some wish lists, including a game I'm championing. This is why we don't play golf. It's a two-player co-op. It's golfing over it. It's golf getting over it. That's what it is. I hope you have fun. But sincerely, starting the list here, I really wanted to champion Yap Yap because to me, this was the game I was most excited to play. It's the one that I feel has the most promise in terms of evolution of what it could be, and at the same time is also just so riding that zeitgeist wave of, I'm gonna say it, friend slop. And there's a bunch of those on this list that I'm genuinely, really honestly, my heart has turned from cold to very warm for this genre where it was a lot of clonages, and this is definitely one as well. It's Lethal Company mixed with Mage Arena and, I don't know, aestheticized with dark fantasy, but it's kind of more than the sum of its parts, and all together culminating with this sort of wave, this community push for more social gaming. Guys, the friends and family guy? Yeah, I'm totally down for it. I mean, these games are very cheap, very affordable. You just jump in and play with friends, and they always offer some interesting little gimmicks or what have you. If it's just a weekend, that's cool. But a lot of these games I end up kind of coming back to or returning to just because they're good, wacky times. Now, Yap Yap is actually sort of ascending that experience for me. You use your voice, just like Mage Arena, to cast spells, and you get a lot of different spells that you have to equip with different wands. You have to go and find the different wands, and the shenanigans here is instead of trying to steal items, it's just purely destruction. Just run around and just smash things up. Now, there are some really creepy monsters that also will attack you and strangle you, and I don't know, they do weird stuff. Things just happen and you're gonna die, and it's a pretty brutal game, but it's also just sort of like, in a way, a cozy liminal experience, which is perfect for friend slop, or which I don't even normally like to use that term anymore, because this is a game experience that's really sort of set up to let you guys just kind of talk, just kind of hang out, and then stuff and things happen, and then you yell and scream. But it's really very similar to like Peak, where it's just like, it's an adventure, you're on a journey, you're in a dark fantasy landscape, just have whatever experience unfolds for you, and I definitely want it for you. Again, and friends, if you need a group, please join the LFG channel in our Discord. The Video Game Party Club, always open, always available. We're the Garden of Thorns, but we really just love video games. And I got a feeling a lot of people are gonna wanna play Yap Yap. Okay, but maybe you want something a little more fast-paced, a little more colorful. Cloudheim completely surprised me. I honestly didn't know what to expect with this because I've played many of these sort of, there's floating islands and you jump around in sort of ARPG or whatever. But Cloudheim is not just that. Please please stay here and let me tell you what this game is. Have you ever played Spyro? Probably, or like a Mario game, like a 3D platformer? That's actually kind of Cloudheim, but also it's kind of a beat 'em up. But it's also kind of an ARPG, but it's also kind of like Legend of Zelda, but it's also, anyways, it's like a lot of different things all thrown together. But basically, it's kind of this rogue, soft-ish, light, Spyro-like kind of punchy game with magic and bullshit. It's whatever it is. It's way more arcade than I was really ready for, where just stuff and things are just happening constantly. Like, for instance, like to mine in this game, you kind of just roll through stuff. And there's even this like base building sort of automation cookie clicker element to it, which a lot of games are adding. And it's pretty insane and strange. It's so hard to describe this game, but I really just think this is a demo that you just gotta play. But if you want a cooperative sort of explore a Mario world with magic powers and beat up goblins kind of thing, dude, this game's got it all. And you don't always just have to be right next to each other. If you can want somebody who's just more of the exploration type, some people who are more of the beat 'em up type, I think that might also satisfy you. A very interesting and evocative world that's sort of mixing Ghibli influence with like Nordic mythology. It's a gorgeous game, and overall, I think it's gonna need some work. This is just a demo, but wow, I'm already in my critic phase because I'm like, this is a serious contender for something that is very interesting in terms of like an evolution of game design. It's kind of weird, but if you think about it, games like Mario, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, these sort of titles, this sort of gameplay isn't normal in online games. In fact, I can only think of like Guild Wars 2. Actually, it's probably a really good comparison. If you like Guild Wars 2, Cloudheim is like the the arcade version of that, where you just jump in and it is happening in your face. You and your friends are just, it's chaos. And I really love it. So absolutely championing Cloudheim. You got to play with me. RuneScape meets Risk of Rain meets, like, I don't know, man. It's it's just such a cheesy game. And I think that I'm seeing that a lot lately, right? With like Mega Bonk and a bunch of other titles. It's just like people are just making weird, wacky experiences. And dude, I think we're here for it. So lore is, it's a Risk of Rain like, but you just jump down into a zone, big open world, and you kind of just, and honestly, really, probably the biggest comparison game that I can think of is like Night Rain, right? So we have Elden Ring Night Rain, which is itself very inspired by extraction shooters, etc. We don't even need to get into the DNA of that, because basically what this game is you jump down, there's a bunch of enemies, you spawn them, you get loot, you buy loot, and it starts out slower paced, but then things amp up over and over again as you keep playing, especially with more players, and you jump in, you become more daring, get a little better with the mechanics. I mean, obviously it's still just a demo, and I'm kind of bad at this game, but like, I see the potential there. If you guys remember your first moments in Risk of Rain and like the slow pacedness of it, and then you finally get good and you kind of get like further into the game and you know how that expands the experience. I know it's cheesy, it is, that's absolutely what it is, but I think that can be to its advantage, and it can go even wackier, even way more insane. And I'm really looking forward to it. In fact, I think it's because I played a few RPG style like modded characters in Risk of Rain, especially if you ever played like the swordsman one. Super fun, you know, it's very like Kingdom Hearts. That kind of content, I think if we go in that direction with this game, it's gonna be a banger. And the next game I'm so excited to talk about is Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. I was like the first person to talk about Ultimate Chicken Horse. And if you guys don't know what that is, lived under a rock, it's basically the best party game. Ultimate Chicken Horse was this game that just came out of nowhere, and it basically is like Mario Maker, but it's competitive. And I mean, that's pretty much it. But it came out way before Mario Maker, but man, it really hit a stride when we were getting so many cool indie party games and couch co-op games. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is gonna be that, but better. And also, it's more like Happy Wheels. It's more like vehicle-based. I don't know. So basically, you just kind of take turns, you know, there's certain rounds, and everybody adds to the level as you play through it. In this case, they just sort of oriented it a little bit differently. The game's a little bit different, but I think the DNA overall in general is basically the same. It's Ultimate Chicken Horse, but just like a little different and maybe a little more. But my time with Ultimate Chicken Horse was so surprising because it didn't just stop when it launched. It kept getting added on. There was even a sports scene. There was so many custom maps as well. So it did get like a full on like Mario Maker expansion where just people were doing that. You could just play really competitive maps. But you can play this sort of like jump in and play online. You're probably gonna get wrecked. But dude, as a party game, it's just so wacky, and there's really fun. I don't know, man, I could just rant about this game forever, but there's so many fun things you can do with this. It's not just making hard levels. It's sometimes just like having teleporters all over the place, or it's like, oh man, what if we only did moving saw blades? I don't know, what will happen? Mayhem? That's what's gonna happen. It will be a great time. And yeah, of course, following that, we got to talk about Crash Out Crew, right? So Crash Out Crew, I think, falls in the category of sort of like delivery games. I don't know. I've played a few games where it's like you have to park cars or you have to bring something from one place to another. This one, though, seems like it's kind of like the pinnacle of that. This is normally a genre I don't normally play, but of course, coming from Aggro Crab, especially, and coming right off a peak, I think we have a lot of trust and love for this type of game. So we're going to give it a shot. I definitely feel this feels very Switchy. You know, it feels like you play this game on the Switch kind of game. So I'm more into, like, if I'm gonna go arcade, I just want it to be absolute insanity, but I do like the fact that this one is more cooperative, so that's pretty cool. I think in a lot of ways, some of the most fun that I had in a game like this, which would be sort of like Overcooked, is, yeah, just trying to get the ingredients into where they need to be rather than just sitting at a station, whatever. So it's kind of cool that they sort of gamified and made a total experience of like, yeah, what if it was just that? You know, just the mayhem that happens whenever you're crisscrossing and just trying to get stuff places. Yeah, okay, let's try it. Okay, and I kind of want to rapid fire 3 sort of weird games that I think are going to be underrated, if that's cool. Let's go ahead and start with Roadside Research. Now, this game I actually was kind of betting was going to be bad, but honestly, if it's going to be bad, it's probably going to be bad in the best ways. So I love kind of management games, from Roller Coaster Tycoon to, of course, we have a ton of like simulation games now. but I tend to like the more wacky ones, obviously with like roller coasters or some added effects. This one is, okay, you're running a gas station, which I didn't love Supermarket Simulator, especially at the start. I don't want to go back to those days, guys. I'm a little beyond that now. If you work retail, you know, I'm with you. But Roadside Research is cool because you're aliens, man. You're just like little aliens, and you're doing some little extra spooky, stupid stuff. So you know what? If we're, I think this is going to be the gimmick that kind of gets me over the edge for that. So is it going to be a great friend slap? Is it going to be a great simulation? I don't know, but maybe combine those two, and I think I'm going to have a good time. The next underrated game I think is going to be Side Effects May Include or Semi. Kind of awkward to try to search for this game. But this reminds me a lot of some Roblox experiments that I've been playing. If you guys have played Roblox, you know that there's some very interesting co-op games that are just weird and wacky and like they don't make sense. This game looks and feels like that's it, right? Am I mistaken? So yeah, I think we definitely need more games that just wear like this insanity on its sleeve. And just let people just kind of have a little co-op romp, you know, just jump in and just do some wacky shit. I don't know. This could be nothing burger, but I really want to see where this turns out, especially because I just kind of like the way the colors massage my eyeballs. I'm gonna be honest. I play Roblox. I love Roblox. Honestly, if you don't play Roblox, you don't take games seriously enough. And yeah, finally, for the Steam Next Fest games that I think your friends will enjoy, we've got a little game called Space Chaos, and it absolutely is, it looks like Repo mixed with Among Us, or it's like Repo in space, but like, no, there's some differences. It just clearly wears its aesthetic right on its freaking sleeve, and you know what? I'm not gonna fault it for that. No, not in an era of friend slop. Nah, you know what? Anything goes. I don't care. So this game is actually made from Tin Can Studios, which I've never heard before, but their previous games have actually gotten some good reviews. Tin Can, very positive too, so which was another space game. So I've got a lot of high hopes for this game. Now the gimmick is that it's not just Repo and it's not just Among Us. It really is its own game, where you have to manage a space station while you through the airlock you get the most random, completely like talking like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy insanity stuff, and you just have to deal with it. I don't know. Is it going to be a mini nuke? Is it going to be a llama? It seems so. Or is it going to be stuff that you can actually use for the space station? And then, of course, all the weird, wacky physics stuff that goes with that. So regardless of what this looks like, I actually think that this is going to be a time that's unique and novel for a lot of you and your friends. But that's going to be it. I didn't want to waste too much of your time, friends, because you all gotta make the time to play together to try out these demos and games. And I hope you do as well. I hope you play the game that I'm publishing. This is why we don't play golf. So 2-player, getting over it. You know what? It's honestly just it's a good meditation. I think, you know, it's a good time. I think a lot of these games are. A lot of these games definitely have those, especially with the friend slop. It's these moments of just like, okay, let's just hang out, let's talk, and let's do some things, you know, but it's really more of an excuse to socialize. And I'm just so down for that. Absolutely. We need more of that. I don't think we can get enough of that, regardless if you call it slop or not. Honestly, I think most of us are having a good time. If you have friends, that is. And if you don't, hey, the Discord's down in the description below for the Video Game Party Club. So please come LFG with us. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys have fun with the Steam Next Fest. Again, leave in the comments whatever you find. Much love. And I'll see you in the next one.